So that, can you hear my voice? Both of you can. Okay, great. So why did I use this? Because of to follow a lot of things. Yes, I have the marker here, so that's it. Okay, so if I talk about dust of snow, what is that? It gives us the knowledge about what uh, winter season. It gives us the knowledge about what uh, about that the how snow covers the hilly areas, valley areas, and it tells about the place that is called as a covering with the forest, right? So, or the trees which have covered with lots of snow, dust particles, right? So, this is the poem that gives us the knowledge about people's thought and belief. Like, how many of you believe about believe on the on bad omens? Bad omens means bad signs. Lucky, I'm talking about bad omens. The meaning of bad omens is called as a bad signs. Like, let's say, uh, if I talk about America, where we talk about the day called as a Friday. Friday is considering as a nothing but a means a kind of a evil room, right? Whether it is a means um, the particular time of the place, Friday. Even if you talk about the room number 13, key key number 13, so anything which is relating to the 13 is also considering as a bad, right? And if you talk about the cat crosses the way, we also believe that it's a bad sign, is not it? Lucky and Vedika. Okay, you don't believe, that's a personal opinion. So, but individual opinion. So, but normally you will find out that uh, most of the people believe a kind of a superstition, right? Blind belief, right? So, like, let's say that we believe that on Monday we should not eat non-veg. On Saturday we should not eat the non-veg. On Tuesday we should not eat non-veg. But in if it is on Wednesday, we take it non-veg items, right? So that shows the kind of a idea that what we have a kind of a belief, right? So similar to that, people also believe that when they see squirrel, when they see mongoose, or when they see a banana tree, they find out it brings or they bring good fortunes, right? Good fortunes. Whereas if you see cats, or if you see crow, if you see hemlock tree, right, you feel like what they bring sorrow, they bring sorrow, right, or called as a sadness. They bring bad luck, right, or bad fortune. Now that's called as a kind of a thought people do have, right? Yes, we understand that it depends upon the individuals, that whether, right, they believe or not believe, right? But at the same time, if I am talking about Dust of Snow, so Dust of Snow, where the poet Robert Lee Frost tries to present the idea. What is that idea he tries to present? Now he tries to present that uh, that there are people live in the society, live in the country, live in the world, right? Who have a lot of means superstitions and blind belief, and those blind belief and superstition based on the nature, right? And as far as we know, Robert Lee Frost is a means a nature poet and nature lover. He is one of the poets, right, of 17th or 18th century. So huge romance for the nature is too much. Like we learnt uh, in all those standards of his points, like that may be road not taken, that may be stopping by the woods on a snowy evening, right? So, or you talk about means some of the other famous points, right, which clearly indicating that his love for the nature a lot, right? So we generally draw a kind of idea that Robert Lee Frost is an American poet, um, and whose writings are very simple, whose writings are very short, right? Like if I talk about stopping by the woods on a snow evening, it's somehow called as a 12-line poem, right? Or 12 to 14 line point, right? At the same time, means if you look into this particular poem, Dust of Snow, or called as a Fire and Ice, right? All these poems are called as a very short. Even you can refer to the two stanza, is not it? Vedika and Lucky, do you find out that these 2 points are based on two stanza, having with the quatrain?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So quatrain is called as a 4 lines. So four lines, 2 stanzas have been pointed. Right. So mainly the poet, through this poem Dust of Snow, uh, he tries to praise the nature, right? Even if you will find out that in all these poems whichever he wrote, right, his main concern is what? Now, to present the nature in a positive way. And that is the reason in most of the poems he either shows the birds like nightingale, or maybe he shows the trees like oak tree, maple tree, banyan tree, right? All such kind of a trees information he mentioned. But this is the kind of a point where he mentions about what? Hemlock tree. He mentions about means the bird called crow, right? Whose people believe that crow is the sign of death, or crow is the sign of what? Crow is a bad omens or bad signs of what? Bringing sorrow, right? Or bringing sadness, or called as a creating bad fortune. So similar to that, if you talk about hemlock tree is also considering as a poisonous tree, right? That is the region. If you talk about means this particular poem, so bringing this hemlock tree and the crow, the poet is trying to justify that nature cannot be uh, termed as or considered as bad at all. Nature cannot bring any kind of a bad fortune to the people. It is the belief of the people, right? So, which is nothing but a blind, which is called as a superstition, right? And how does he prove it? How does he bring the evidence to it? Now, he brings the evidence by giving the title Dust of Snow. And when somebody reads this two stanza poem, will understand the meaning of Dust of Snow is nothing but the blessing. The meaning of Dust of Snow is called as a blessing. The meaning of Dust of Snow is called as a changing of mood, right? How this dust of snow is changing the mood of the poet. While he discusses this point, he also presents lots of literary devices, right? We will discuss all those things, but this is the kind of a poem where the poet presents nothing but one of the strong literary device that's called as irony. Irony. What is that irony? Now, irony is called as a one side. People believe that they bring the they means referring to crow and uh, means what do we say that hemlock tree bring sorrows and sadness, and bring bad fortune to the human being's life. At the same time, the poet proves that, or the poet says that, how these two, right, change the mood of the poet from bad to the good, and how they become blessing to the poet, and the poet able to save the part of his life, right, turning into miserable, right? And also tells that what means how he means how he feels happy, and also how he appreciate the nature for that. That's what is the point, right? Am I clear till now? You understood? Hello?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
yes.
Okay. So I don't know how many of you, once you are just saying yes, sir. Let's see that. Now, look into it. So what does it say? Wait, yeah, yeah. Now look into it. The introduction is given here, right? If you want to read that, yes, Bedika, can you read this?
Yes, sir. The short poem by Robert Frost throws light upon the unimaginable healing power of nature and tiny things. From a bad mood to ill health, there is nothing that can be cured by nature. The author was experiencing one such bad day when a crow's movement near a hemlock tree dusted snow upon him. The snow instantly makes him happier. His day gets a lot better. Thus, the supremacy of nature as a whole made him realize how pretty his problem was. The fact that hemlock tree is poisonous combined with crow being the indicator of doom and fear are used in the poem as the carriers of happiness in the life of narrator is ironical. The the poet through the poet through these objects has tried to highlight that sometimes creatures linked with negative aspects of life bringer of change and happiness. Being outdoors in nature with all its unpredictability can benefit anyone anywhere at any time.
Yes. Now, do you understand? That's what the poets thought, right? So the poet tries to throw a light upon the unimaginable healing power, right? How it is called as unimaginable healing power? Because the poet wants to convey the message that how his mood changed from bad to the good, right? And that all occur because of the means crow and the means hemlock tree, right? So they do have the unimaginable healing power, right? So and as they belong to the nature, so that is where the poet wants to convey the message that nature, right, helps us to means to cure all your problems, right? It can change your bad mood to ill health, bad mood or ill health to good mood. There is nothing that cannot be nature cured by nature, right? So and that's what the experience which he presented through this poem, right? Okay, now let me take you to the point. Now you can see that the poem comes with nothing but two stanzas, having with each stanza carrying with a quatrain. Do you understand the meaning of quatrain? Do you understand the meaning of
Yes,
quatrain?
sir.
Yeah. So quatrain. The meaning of quatrain is called as a four lines, right? So it's a four lines a stanza, right? Having with the rhyming scheme is called as B A B, right? Like you can find out crow, me, snow, tree. We can find out it's a crow, me, snow, tree. That's what is called as a B B or a B, like that. So similar to that, if you go to the second stanza, you would also find out C D C D, right? That is what the rhyming scheme. And remember that the the rhyming scheme is something that the poet has created in a such a way, right? That how in a such a way now, like you, if you see that each line of the poem carries with a four word, right? Four word which have been arranged in such a manner, arranged in a such a manner that what happened now, it presents the rhyming scheme, right? So we can find out that the words are arranged in such a way in this poem. We can find out means it brings the rhyming scheme called as ABAB, and that is the reason you can see that. means all the lines of this poem coming with the four words and creating the rhyming scheme ABAB, but the last line is coming with the five words, right? Five words. So that shows a kind of again means all the lines have been written 4 4 4, but the last line is written five because the poet is trying to construct, right, construct the word in such a way so that it comes with the rhyming scheme called ABAB, right? That is the first thing. You can find out one of the literary devices, that is rhyming scheme. Second is called as a two of the stanzas having uh, means two quatrain means four lines. Next is called as a, when we read the poem we can find out the way a crow shook down on me the dust of snow from a hemlock tree. That gives the idea that this particular stanza doesn't have any full stop, comma, right, exclamation mark, neither question mark. So anything, any kind of a punctuation mark is not given. You can find out it is indicating like what a one sentence and ends with a full stop at the end of the second stanza. So that is why we can consider that this poem comes with nothing but enjambment. What does it carry? It carries enjambment. Enjambment. The meaning of enjambment is called as a, when the line of the poem, right, doesn't end or stop with any kind of a punctuation mark. It ends at last or called as it continues in the next line. Then it is called as an enjambment, right? So that is what you will find out here. Next is called as when we read the poem, we can find out the way a crow shook down on me, right? The dust of snow from a hemlock tree. So here you can find out the presence of vowel sounds, the presence of vowel sounds repeatedly in a line called second line of the poem. That's shook down on me, right? Shook down on me. So this clearly indicating about what? Assonance. Right. What you call to this? This is called as assonance. Right. So and as far as what do you mean by inversion? Anyone can tell me about what is the meaning of inversion? Yeah, Vedika and Lucky, can you tell me what do you mean by inversion?
No, sir.
Lucky, are you there? Lucky?
Yes, yes,
Yeah, what do you mean by inversion?
no problem.
Okay, so let me point out inversion is referring to the rhyming scheme. How? Now, when the word of the line have been organized in such a way to present the rhyming scheme, right? Present a particular rhyming scheme, then it is called as an inversion. The meaning of inversion is called as a, when the word of the line which have been arranged in such a way so that it present the uh, rhyming scheme ABAB. So in that case, you can say it is a considering as an inversion. Am I clear? So we talk about assonance, we talk about inversion, we talk about rhyming scheme. Right. Now, let me make you understand. So the poet uses a very short and simple manner by stating that what? Now the way a crow, right, shook down on me. So it may be a kind of a winter season time when the poet uh, uh, was in outside. The poet was outside, so and while he was moving here and there, he went under the tree, right, and or he passed, right, he passed out under a tree, right, while he was passing out under the tree. So what happened, there was a crow, right, who sat on the branch of the hemlock tree, so immediately fly out, right, or you can say immediately flew of on the branches, right, or flew on the branch. So what happened when the crow flew on the branch? So as the tree is filled with nothing but the dust particles, so that the dust particles fell on the shoulder of the poet, right? So when the dust particles fell on the uh, fell on the poet Robert Lee Trust. So at the same time, what happened? So till this, the poet is saying that the way a crow shook down on me the dust of snow from a hemlock tree, right? So what happened? The dust of snow that fell on the poet that was gathered in a hemlock tree, right? Now this is something called as a description on that. Okay, now look into it. So the poet stated, has given my heart a change of mood and saved some part of a day I had ruled. So the poet stated that when the crow flew from the branch and the dust of snow fell on the poet's shoulder or on poet, so the poet stated that it has given my heart. It has given my heart means it makes me, right? It makes me filled thrill, right? It makes me filled thrill, or it immediately, right, touches me, or it has given my heart, or it gives me a kind of a consciousness, right? And it changes of my mood, a change of mood. Now you can say that when we were talking about a change of mood, it means the poet is trying to tell us that what means a change of mood is referring that either the poet earlier had a bad mood and now it changes the mood back to good, or maybe earlier he was in a good mood and after that it was changing into bad mood, right? As we cannot draw from the poem at the till now that whether the poet have means had a good mood or a bad mood, but we draw the kind of information that the poet presents the idea that there was a tree and a crow, and how the crow flew away and the dust particles fell on the poet, right? So, and that changed the poet's mood, right? Now, and saved some part of a day I had ruled. The meaning of this part is indicating that and saved some part. So this idea represents that what means the poet felt regret. The poet felt regret. Like you can see here, the poet stated, "I had ruled, right? So it has given my heart a change of mood and saved some part of a day I had ruled." It means the poet said that means I was regret that what I lose my means a precious moment of the past, right? So why I regret that I waste my precious moment of the past, right? So because my mood was in bad, my mood was in bad, and because of this dust particles my mood was changed, and be- I came out from the bad mood to the good mood, and I realized that now still I have also some part of the day left, right? I can enjoy that, right? That is why the poet here stated, um, that it has given my heart a change of mood and it has saved some part of a day that I had wasted, or I had wasted, and for that I felt regret. I felt regret. So that's what we can draw. So this end of the poem gives us kind of a thought here, that we find out some of the literary devices like has, heart, which is the clear indication of the alliteration, or if you see saved some, this also gives us the idea of alliteration, right? And here means the rhyming scheme would be CDCT, right? At the end of this poem, the poet tries to tell us like uh, how pathetic it is that sometimes we feel, or we blame to the crow and we blame to the means whom, what do we say that we blame to the tree, who are the part of the nature, right? And look at this crow and the hemlock tree, who were considered as the bad omens or bad signs, but they changed my mood, right, from bad to good, right? So, which is something called as a ironical, right? How come the bad signs presented two of the nature's part, right, changed my bad mood to the good one, and this is what called as ironical. And that's why the poet says that it is not creating bad omens, or it has not presented bad omens. It is the believers who, right, carried the superstitions, right, or called as a means blind belief in their mind, right, which actually needed to be changed. And that is the reason the poet stated that the nature has the supremacy, or nature has the power that to change your mind from bad to good, right? So there is no means bad omens present in the nature, or part of the nature, that may be trees, or that may be means birds, right? With this, he end the point. Am I clear? Understood?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sure. I'm saying, are you sure?